sorry, Trent. Trent even taught me how to say it. The age of Zion. We have with us a gentleman named Royce Hickman. Royce is a distinguished Aggie alum, and I wish I could read his entire bio, but in the interest of time, I'm going to abridge it somewhat. Royce is the current chairman of the, president and CEO of the Byrne College Station Chamber of Commerce, and is also the current chairman of the Texas Chamber of Commerce Executive Board of Directors. He has a quick announcement that he'd like to make. If you could join us, Royce.
Well, Jim, we begin things in Byrne College Station with howdy. Howdy. Thank you. It's good to be with you today. My wife and I were driving over today, and I was talking about doing a work camp here for the Methodist Church in 1985, and had such a wonderful experience here. And when you come back into a community where you had a good experience, you just have so many fond memories. And Bill, it's good to be with you, and publicly let me thank you for what you do for our area as well. This past June, for only the second time in our history, the Texas Chamber of Commerce executives recognized an individual for 40 years of outstanding service to the Chamber of Commerce industry and profession. It is my privilege to come before you today and once again recognize your president, Jerry Huffman. He began his career in the chamber profession in the 60s, came to Lufkin in 1974, serving as the chamber's executive vice president. After a tour of time as president of the Galveston Chamber, he achieved a desire of returning to this area and subsequently moved into the role of president of the Lufkin Chamber and Angelina County Chamber of Commerce in 1986. I think most of you know he spent some time as district director for United States Congressman Jim Turner, but maintained his status with the Texas Chamber of Commerce executives. For the past 7 years, he has continued serving in the Lufkin and Angelina County area as your president and CEO. His passion for bringing new business and residents to the area while offering services and benefits to help grow existing businesses shows his dedication to leaving a legacy that builds and sustains a surging community. Jerry has many accomplishments and recognition. He is a certified Chamber of Commerce executive, one of less than 300 nationwide that are still active in the profession. He's also a registered Chamber of Commerce executive with TCCE. He's been named Chamber of Commerce Executive of the Year by the Chamber Executives of East Texas, awarded the Distinguished Service Award by the Texas Chamber of Commerce Executives for outstanding service to the organization, and he is a recipient of the highest award we give, the Marvin Hurley Award, which is given for a lifetime of achievement and dedication to the chamber profession. He served many local, regional, and state organizations and boards, and I'm going to also, in the interest of time, not go through all of those, but he is a past chairman of the Texas Chamber of Commerce Executives, and I hope you'll join me in congratulating your president, Mr. Jerry Huffman, for 40 years of service to the state of Texas, to the communities in which he has resided, and to the chamber profession. Jerry,
I am somewhat surprised. This recognition was given to me at our state conference in June, and I certainly didn't expect it today. We saw Royce in the hall, and he said, "Oh, he's just passing through. He heard Bill speaking. He thought he'd stop." And I thought, well, this is just kind of weird. But I really appreciate it. It's been a short 40. And I have to tell you very quickly that I've been blessed. I've been blessed to, one, find a profession that I absolutely love. Secondly, I've been blessed to find a community that accepted me that I absolutely love. And I guess thirdly, I have been blessed to have Deborah Huffman as my wife because she hears all the venting that I need to do occasionally. So thank you for the privilege. And he said for a lifetime of achievement, but my lifetime's not over. So.
When I took over as the person who had to get the First Friday speakers, it's a little bit of a daunting task. And I wanted to get somebody who I thought would be really interesting, and I knew, because I worked with a bunch of Aggies, that if I could get somebody from Texas A&M to come over here work with Scott Taylor. And I just want to publicly thank him for getting in touch with Bill Byrne and having him come speak with us. Scott, thank you. Few of you know that I come from a coaching background. My grandfather started coaching in high school, and he coached at Abilene Christian, and he coached at Florida. He went on to Georgia Tech, then he became commissioner of the Southeastern Conference. But when he was in Coleman, he had a really great year, and he went 9-1. And the Booster Club gave him a lifetime contract, and he thought he was in high cotton. Well, the next year, it wasn't so good. He went 5-5, and the Booster Club went down to the courthouse and had him declared legally dead. But my Aggie friends tell me that as long as Bill and his group of coaches keep beating those Longhorns, he doesn't have to worry about them going to the courthouse. Bill Byrne is in his 9th year of building champions as Director of Athletics at Texas A&M University. With more than 25 years' experience as a Division I athletic director, Byrne has impressive credentials and track records producing champions on and off the field. Before he came to Texas A&M, he was the athletic director at Oregon and then Nebraska. Bill manages an annual budget in excess of $75 million. During his tenure at A&M, he has overseen the construction and renovation of approximately $85 million in athletic facilities. Byrne, teamed with the 12th Man Foundation, has raised over $100 million for Aggie athletics. Throughout his career, Byrne has been recognized with the highest awards an athletic administrator can receive. Byrne is a 1967 graduate of Idaho State University, where he was also the student body president. Byrne's wife of more than 40 years is Dr. Marilyn Kent Byrne, and the Byrnes have 2 sons, Bill III and Greg. Greg's also into the athletic administration business. But you know, as my story alluded, the measure of any athletic program is winning, and Byrne has excelled at winning at Texas A&M. Since Byrne was introduced into Aggieland in December of 2002, the Aggies have won 41 Big 12 Conference championships. They've won those in 11 different sports, and they've captured 7 team national championships. The 40 championships won by the Aggies from January 2003 through the end of 2011 ranked second in the league. The Aggies' 32 conference championships won during the last 5 seasons combined to the second most of any school. In the 2010-2011 athletic season, they had a record-setting campaign as they captured 4 national championships and 9 Big 12 championships. Please give a warm Angelina County welcome to Texas A&M Athletic Director Bill Byrne.
College Station and for Texas A&M, so usually I say howdy Ags, but I don't do that with the mixed group that we have today. I know that you're going to expect me to talk about football, and I'd be happy to do that. But talking to a group of people who are very much interested in the economy, in growing Lufkin and growing your community, I thought you might find it a little more interesting as to what the economic impact of Texas A&M University is in our community, and give you an idea of what having college programs means to your community. Because I know when you have a college in town, everyone kind of takes it for granted. But there are certain things that college athletics brings to a community besides visiting teams. And yet, the economic impact of having those visiting teams in your community are significant. So I'm going to give you some ideas of how we go about putting our budget together, as well as working with Royce and the Chamber of Commerce to give you an idea of what people spend when they come into our communities. This last 3 years, we have averaged hosting a certain number of NCAA and Big 12 championships that have generated in new spending in our community about $3.5 million per year. We have built facilities, our tennis facility, our swimming facility, our soccer facility, our indoor track and field facility, our baseball facility, our softball facility, and our basketball facility that is attractive to have other teams come in and compete. So this coming year, we are going to host the NCAA Indoor Track and Field National Championships. We just hosted the Women's National Championship in golf. We're hosting Big 12 cross country, Big 12 track and field indoors, Big 12 tennis, Big 12 swimming and diving, and we've made bids for NCAA baseball, softball, and we're hosting NCAA women's basketball. impact in the community this year from the number of visitors we bring in will be about $5 million, hard iron dollars that are being spent in the community. So when you have an opportunity to attract a business that's going to have that kind of impact in your community, take a good hard look at it. Where does our money come from? Because we also have a multiplier effect. Well, our football season ticket sales right now, we've hit an all-time high in football season ticket sales. We're over 42,000 full-time, full-price season tickets. Plus, we also hold 31,000 seats for the 12th man for our student body. So we're up over 73,000 guaranteed coming to every game. What does that mean as far as money? That means that's going to generate, just in full-time season ticket sales, about $30 million of spending in the community. Together, we're going to have, with basketball, $42.3 million in season ticket sales. Women's basketball, we're the defending national champions, about $340,000. And our Olympic sports, baseball, softball, track and field, about $1.3 million. So he mentioned that $75 million budget. A lot of that comes from people who purchase tickets, but there are other things as well. Our 12th Man Foundation contributes our scholarship money. It also contributes operation money, and then it helps build our facilities. Actually, we have a bigger number than what you mentioned. We're going to be starting construction, or are under construction, for a new baseball facility, which is $24 million. We're building a new outdoor track, which is another $25 million. And we're getting ready to start the renovation of Kyle Field. That is going to be a big number. That will be well in excess of $100 million in new spending. So you can see what happens as far as facilities, the number of people that you employ. But what do you think would happen on game day when we have 86,000 people show up at Kyle Field? It's an amazing amount of money. But we're looking at, for full-time for football game day staffing, per year, security, we spend $450,000 for those police officers. $225,000 for transportation services for the buses. Game attendants, those folks who are helping you out, $170,000. Concession workers, $165,000. Game officials, now you know that there's always a complaint about officials, we're paying them $128,000. Landscape maintenance, $100,000. Custodians, $82,000. Our expense per game is for the season, is $1,380,000. On a per game basis, we're spending right at $200,000 as far as employees that we hire. As far as our departmental employees, our payroll for full-time salaries is $20.8 million. Part-time salaries, $1.8 million, for a total of $22.6 million. Our multiplier effect, and we get those numbers from Royce, is $56.4 million in new spending in the community. So, game day staff, the numbers, football, we have 2,100 staff members who work for us on game day. Basketball, 180, baseball, 100, and track and field, 300. So we're bringing a lot of people in the community, helping a lot of people get some money. The university impact, what do we give back to the institution? Our tuition and fees this last year were $2.8 million. Our utilities, $2.3 million. The university assesses us to help faculty salaries, whatever else they need money for. This last year was $2.4 million they took right off the top of our budget. Physical plant, things like custodian and so forth, $1.5 million. The rent on Reed Arena, $1.2 million. Transportation services, to rent the parking lots on game day, we pay them $900,000. So we keep the prices for parking lower for our students and for our faculty. If you're coming to the game, they're going to be talking to you. They do. Rec sports, we rent the swimming pool, $650,000 for our campus rental. Building champions for construction projects. And I just mentioned some of those. 24 construction projects that are small ones, less than $1 million. But we're repairing elevators, all at about $1 million each. We repair a new elevator every year. We have questions about new lighting in Kyle Field. $880,000 we spent to relight Kyle Field. New scoreboards, ribbon boards in Kyle Field, and in baseball and in basketball, $13.6 million that we spent on all that signage. These are some new facilities that we've added just recently. We finished the Bright Football Complex and the Nye Academic Center in 2005. The Cox McFerrin Center, which was $24 million, was finished 2 years ago. And the McFerrin Athletic Center, which is our indoor track facility and our indoor football facility, was finished for $36 million 2 years ago. So we have had had some significant improvement as far as what's going on with our athletics facilities at Texas A&M. What does that mean? The way you attract and build great programs is to attract great student athletes with great coaches and great facilities. In the last 5 years, as was mentioned, we've won about 40 conference championships. We have won 17 national championships. We are Conference Championship USA as far as the way it's going at Texas A&M. And what I like about this is a precursor to what I think is going to be our future. Our mission statement is to build champions at Texas A&M. To have our kids come to the campus, have a great experience, and go away with one of those gold Aggie rings. We're seeing more and more of that in the involvement of our students. How many of you saw our game with Nebraska on TV last year? Any of you? Watching it? You were there. Okay, that's even more important. You know, that was an important game from my perspective. I was athletic director at Nebraska for 10 years. When you put your heart and soul into a program and then you go someplace else, I guarantee you really want to win that ball game. That's really an important game. And when we won it, I was coming. My habit is to go underneath Kyle and come up around the 50-yard line where the team used to enter the field. And as I got to the top of the stairs, you saw the students throwing their 12-man towels, and it looked like a snowstorm at Kyle Field. And we had 90,600 or something in the building that night. It was one of the most emotional games from my perspective, and something I will never forget. We were lucky to have one of our former students who's a photographer for Sports Illustrated. And if you get Sports Illustrated the next week, you notice the inside cover was a picture of Kyle Field with the towels coming down. And I have that picture on my wall now, autographed from that photographer. It is something that I will think about forever. As we go through the Big 12, we have established long-term relationships with schools, and I like the way the new conference is going to be structured in that we're going to be playing everyone every year. Our fans don't know the traditions of Missouri or Kansas or Iowa State the way they know them about Oklahoma or Oklahoma State or Baylor. So they're going to learn more about those teams because we're playing them every year. I like the fact that we're playing in the center part of the United States because we're not having to travel our youngsters over time zones. One of the things that appeals to me is that we are able to take our students, even on Wednesday games, we will fly them in either that morning or late Tuesday night, get them to the contest, and we have them back in class the next night. Our APR, our academic progress rate, is among the highest in the country because we invest in making sure our students get back and forth. The other thing that we spend a lot of money on is academic support. We're spending about $1.6 million a year on tutoring for our student athletes, advisors for our student athletes, to make sure they get the proper opportunity and education. Now, when you think of academic support, you're thinking of youngsters who are having trouble getting through school. Actually, we have some kids like that. That's true, as every college does. But we also have a program that's going to help the youngster who wants to go on to get a graduate degree or go on to medical school. Last year, we had one of our swimmers was a finalist to be a Rhodes Scholar. She was having a real problem getting from a B to an A in an advanced physics class. We were able to find someone to tutor her to get her from the B to the A. She didn't win the Rhodes Scholarship, but she was there, and we're there to make sure that our kids have the best possible education they can possibly get. We have a tremendous responsibility for all those youngsters who are on our campus, all 650 of our student athletes. We're kind of like their mom and dad at Astentia, but we make sure that they have a great experience in any way that we can possibly do it. So I'm really proud of the job that we're doing at Texas A&M, where we're going, and what our plans are. Now let's talk a little bit about football. Okay. I really like our head football coach, Mike Sherman. He's done an absolutely incredible job. He's building the program from the inside out. I believe that you win football games with offensive and defensive linemen, and that is what has improved at Texas A&M. If you look at our offensive line, well, I'll tell you a quick story. When I moved here, my wife Marilyn was a graduate dean back in Nebraska, and she called after the spring game and asked, "How do we look?" And I said, "Not real good." And she said, "What's the matter?" And I said, "Probably as bad as I've seen as our first year in Oregon. We were 2-9 that year." And she said, "Yeah." I said, "We really need some help in the offensive and defensive lines." And you can see that season. What Mike has done is attract youngsters who are not only great offensive and defensive linemen, but they're great athletes as well. And he's able to protect our quarterbacks, and when you can do that, you have time to throw the ball, you can open holes. We've got a really outstanding looking football program. I think our offense is going to be exceptional. With Cyrus Gray back and our receivers back and our quarterback back. That's going to be really important. But what's really important, we have both offensive tackles back, we have both offensive guards back, we have a new center who was an offensive guard. We moved him over. So I really look forward to an outstanding offense. Defensively, we lost Von Miller to the Denver Broncos, the second pick in the United States in the NFL draft. Remember this name, Caleb Russell. Caleb Russell. Remember the quarterback from Baylor who can run so fast? The kid who ran him down on the sidelines? Caleb Russell. He is going to be a terrific football player for us. So I'm excited about him. I'm excited about the defense. We have a new punter coming in. Our kicker returns. I think we have a chance to be very good. But it's not just those sports. This spring, or this fall sports, should be outstanding. Our soccer team, I think we've won 11 of the 13 championships possible in the Big 12 Conference. We return a lot of great players. Our volleyball team returns the entire volleyball team. Cross country, Pat Henry doesn't give cross country scholarships unless they're exceptional. He's giving a full ride to a youngster in the state of Texas. She can really run. I think we may have a chance to actually score some points in the cross country league. Basketball, both men's and women's basketball should be outstanding. Of course, our women are the defending national champions. And that, when we went to Indianapolis, I'll tell you a quick story about that, was unexpected. They were not expecting the Aggies, first of all, to be there because they saw Baylor as our impediment. When we beat Baylor to advance, they have all these parties for you. And they have a show. They bring in some talent from ESPN from Connecticut. And she couldn't pronounce Gary Player's name hardly at all. And she had real problems because she was all set for Kim Mulkey. And all the colors that were there, they have stars and they have things that they give you. All the stuff that we got was in green for some reason. So when we won the game, they have balloons that fall out of the ceiling and they drop these stars and so forth. Guess what color the balloons were? Guess what color? They were green as well. So I think that we came as kind of a surprise. We won't be a surprise this year. We returned 3 of our 5 starters. We had the first team All-American, and we lost her and another young woman to the WNBA draft. But we have some outstanding players coming back, and we redshirted what arguably is one of the best centers in the country. So we're going to be good there. On the men's side, I was surprised to lose Mark Turgeon 4 weeks after the Final Four. So we have a new men's basketball coach, Billy Kennedy. I think he's going to be terrific. He really fits us. He's from New Orleans. He speaks like y'all do down here. So you can correspond with him well. He's done an outstanding job with the kids. The kids are really excited about him. I had the basketball team very much in the nose to who we were looking at, and they were excited when we hired him. We're heading for Europe next week with the basketball team, and we're able to because we're enrolled our freshmen in summer school. They get to go with us, so we have an extra, well, I think it's about 16 or 17 days of practice and competition they're able to do because of that. That's really important with a new coach and a new team. So I think our men's basketball team should be outstanding. Another team that should be really incredible is our indoor men's and women's track and field. We're the defending national champions outdoors, but we're hosting the national championships indoors. And Pat Henry has not won an indoor national championship here this year. We have a chance to do that this year. Those of you who have been to our indoor track facility, it is absolutely the finest in the world. It is just unbelievable. And to see those young athletes sprinting around that track at the same time as somebody's pole vaulting or high jumping, and at the far end they're throwing the disc or the shot. It is an absolutely incredible event. And they get it all run in just a very short amount of time. If you've not been to one, do yourself a favor. If you're not a big track fan, at least go inside McFerrin's on football game day because we open it up as a place for you to go and relax and get out of the heat. So I'm excited about that. Our golf teams are going to be outstanding again this year. Our tennis teams are both in the top 10. Other than that, well, we still have some more work to do. Our baseball team I think has a chance to be back in the College World Series. And our softball team likely have a chance to be back in the College World Series. So things are going well in Aggie land. I've got about 6 minutes left. I'll take a couple of questions, then I'll sit down and shut up. Yes, sir. Oh, Scott.
Talk about the Longhorn.
You asked about the Longhorn. I don't know if any of you heard about that. The University of Texas has teamed up with ESPN to create a single channel entity for the University of Texas. And I think that's a real advantage for them. The $300 million that they're paying for the rights is absolutely an astounding number. And you have to tip your hat to the University of Texas for pulling off something like that. As far as, they made an attempt, they announced it about 3 weeks ago, they were going to put on about 18 high school games, and coincidentally, it was going to be youngsters that they were recruiting I said, well, one of the things that ABC is going to do is move Friday Night Lights to the Longhorn Network. And you have an objection to fictional high school teams and so forth being on it. And I said, no, but I'm looking forward to watching Welcome Back Cotter and our Miss Brooks on the well as well if you're going to have high school games on. So. Other questions? Sunday night?
Yeah, the first game.
Oh, SMU.
Right.
SMU is going to be a formidable opponent. June Jones has done a terrific job. I was athletic director at Oregon when he was the head coach at Portland State, but he's a Mouse Davis protege. And you can expect the ball to be thrown about a gazillion times when they take the field. They've got a good quarterback. They've got some really good young receivers. I was really impressed with the progress that SMU has made. The fact that SMU got the death penalty, what was that, about 20 years ago?
25.
And it shows how long it takes to rebuild a program before you can do something. But he has done a remarkable job. And I think June is going to do some really good things for them. He already has. We have a 4-year contract with SMU, 2 in College Station, 2 in Dallas. And I'm looking forward to those contests. The other contest you may want to be interested in is our game with Arkansas. That has been something where when we left the Southwest Conference, we needed a presence in the Metroplex. We were there either playing TCU or SMU every year, and then that went away with the formation of the Big 12, and we needed to have a presence there. So playing Arkansas in the new Dallas Cowboy Stadium has been something very, very positive for us. Each school is the home game, so when you're at the home team, as we were last year, we're able to bring all of our recruits in the Metroplex to the game. They're to be our guests. We treat it just like a normal recruiting weekend for any home contest. And Arkansas will have that advantage this year. But it's something that's really helped us. And if you look at our recruiting in the Metroplex, it's stepped up dramatically over the last 3 years. Part of that is having a presence there. You know, that was a difficult thing to watch. You asked about the Pelini brothers and what happened on the sideline during the Nebraska game. I'm sure that if they had a chance to do that over again, they would do something rather different. That was not good for college football. And as a former athletic director at Nebraska, I felt bad for Nebraska because you don't see that happening on their sidelines. I mean, Tom Osborne, you never saw anything like that when he and I worked together. So that is atypical of Nebraska. That is not a typical sideline situation. I suspect the Big Ten officials will be familiar with those antics. And there's a new rule this year. It's against the players, but it's on showboating. And if you are flagged, even if you're scoring a touchdown, if you're flagged for doing something that they think is trying to draw attention to yourself, they not only will